Hey Falcon fans, I'm Mott. Welcome into our video where we're going to take a look and preview the Falcons' Week 2 very critical matchup against the defending Super Bowl champions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First, though, I want to get your mailbag questions in because we're going to do a mailbag video the next couple of days. A lot of you guys submitted questions for our last mailbag. We weren't able to answer every single one, so now's your chance. If you're a subscriber, go down below, type hashtag Falcons in the comments section, ask any question you want, press enter, and then more than likely, again, if you're a subscriber, I'll go ahead and pull it for the upcoming video because I know you guys are very disappointed in the Falcons Week 1, have a lot of questions for the Falcons Week 1. I'll try and answer as many as I can in a mailbag video. So here's the chance to go ahead and ask them down below in the comments section right now. All right, so in today's Atlanta Falcons Today video, I want to jump into a preview of the Bucs game because it's a game not many of us think the Falcons can win, but there are some ways and at least some thoughts I have in order to steer the ship back on the right track because it got completely derailed, completely flooded. It sunk against the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. It was terrible. I was in attendance, and it was brutal. And the more film that I watch, it's just like, how are they going to beat the Bucs? Because right now, Tampa Bay is 12.5-point favorites, which is like, oh my gosh, like an absolutely massive number. But it's a right number because Tampa Bay is fantastic, and they looked great against Dallas in their win on Thursday Night Football in the opener, and Atlanta looked terrible in their massive blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. Competence and the ability to show me that this season is not going to be wasted is huge in this game. Like, you've got to be able to win back some Falcon fan hearts because most of us are saying this is the same type of BS I've seen the past 2 seasons. And this is not this brand new head coach. We were told that this was gone when you got rid of Dan Quinn. Arthur Smith, though, completely looked out coach. He looked incompetent. The fact that he said this team was not ready to play is shocking. They better be ready to play against Tom Brady and the Bucs because if you think Philadelphia looked good on Sunday, Tom Brady and the Bucs is a much better roster than Philadelphia, and they will completely obliterate this team if the Falcons are not ready to go. I'm going to get into some of the matchups and the key things to go ahead and keep a look at. First, though, who do you have? Is anybody going to predict the Atlanta Falcons to win? Any of you guys, if you do, if you're bold, go down below. There'll be a pinned comment. Type ATL for Atlanta. Type TB down below for Tampa if you're picking the Bucs to win this one. I'll give you my score prediction later, but give me your thoughts down below right now. All right, the big thing to look at here, and this is very obvious, the Falcons' offensive line. Can this offensive line look competent? Now, they're going to give up sacks. They're going to give up pressures and hurries because they are not 100% healthy, and they're starting a rookie, Jalen Mayfield, at left guard, but look better than you did, goodness, against the Philadelphia Eagles. The film here that I've watched over the past couple of days is really bad. It's not just Jalen Mayfield's fault. Like, he was bad. He was the worst graded offensive lineman in the entire National Football League by Pro Football Focus in Week 1. Yes, he was bad. But just some of the schemes that they were running, some of the incompetence that I saw, it was unbelievable to see just how bad the Falcons' offensive line played. And it wasn't, again, just Jalen Mayfield. Matt Hennessy didn't look ready to go. Caleb McGarry struggled on the outside. Chris Lindstrom and Jake Matthews were okay. But this is an offensive line that if the Falcons want any sort of chance to get the ball down the field to their playmakers, and that is Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts, they have got to play a lot better. Again, Mayfield gets a lot of the blame, and rightfully so. But he's got to learn quickly because what else are you going to do? Right? There's no one else coming to take Jalen Mayfield's spot. They haven't signed anybody. They haven't traded for anybody as of recording this video. They've got to figure out a way to slow down the Buc pass rush because as good as the Eagle D-line is, and I think it's a top 5 D-line in the National Football League, the Bucs is just as good. I mean, they have Shaq Barrett, they have Jason Pierre-Paul, they have Ndamukong Suh. They are loaded on the defensive line front. And so if you thought that the Eagles were hard, or you're like, oh goodness, thanks, we're done with the Eagles, we get a little break here. No, there's no break. You have the Bucs, and then even Washington next week is another great defensive line. They've got to figure out the offensive line because if they give up a bunch of sacks and a bunch of pressures, and it's Matt Ryan running for his life at 36 years old in his 14th season, you're going to see a lot of the same that we saw against the Eagles on Sunday, and that means a very bad 0-2 start for our Atlanta Falcons. How many sacks will the Falcons give up on Sunday? Like, what are your thoughts here? I think they gave up 3 against Philadelphia, which is kind of less than I thought. I thought they were going to give up 5 or 6. Philadelphia had some chances for more sacks. Didn't happen. How many sacks will the Bucs have on Sunday? If it's less than 3, I think Atlanta could have at least a chance to keep it within 1 score. If it's more than 3, then good luck. They're going to lose by like 20 points. It's going to be another rough Monday here on Atlanta Falcons. So give me your thoughts on how many sacks, though, in the comments section. Now, if we're going to keep going here, I'm not going to tell you to bet on the Falcons, but you can bet on a lot of other games with our friends at BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/betFalcons. Use that promo code Falcons125 for a 125% deposit bonus whenever you first sign up. So you can bet on the Falcons, maybe to lose, or you can bet on the Braves. A big series against the Rockies going on right now. I'll go from the time I filmed this video. And Atlanta United, and of course the Hawks in the coming weeks here. Go ahead and jump in on this promo code, though, to get a 125% deposit bonus. The promo code, again, is Falcons125. Here are my quick bets of the week if you guys want to jump in on who I am betting on right now. I love the Raiders to cover +5.5 right now against the Steelers. The Steelers' offense looked terrible, in my opinion, As the Bills on Sunday got lucky with I think it was a block punt is what they had that kind of gave them a little edge there in the fourth quarter. I like the Raiders to cover, maybe not to win outright, but Raiders +5 to me is a great pick. Arizona is, in my opinion, going to absolutely blow out their opponent this week. I love Arizona -3.5. They blew out Tennessee last week. I think Arizona is looking like a Super Bowl caliber team versus just a competent good team in the NFC West. And Kansas City -3.5. I like the Chiefs in this one. Give me them again at -3.5. Baltimore looked very unimproved or unimpressive, whatever the word is, against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. I think that Baltimore can be okay this year, but they might miss the postseason. The Chiefs got a little roughed up by the Browns early on in that game. I think the Chiefs are going to come back out and dominate here. I think they win outright, and they win by more than 3.5 points. Now, when we talk about the Bucs, we obviously talk about some of the key playmakers, and that, of course, starts at the helm with the quarterback, superstar, GOAT, whatever you want to call him, and that, of course, is Tom Brady. Brady hates pressure. Now, what are the Falcons bad at? It's getting pressure, and so you see where this is going. If you could find a way to get some pressure on Tom Brady and knock him down and get him off of his platform, maybe you can force him to go ahead and make a couple of mistakes, because he did throw a couple of interceptions in the win over the Dallas Cowboys. Mike Evans was very quiet last week. Only had like 1 or 2 catches on my fantasy team, I would know. But this entire wide receiver group, you've got to slow down Mike Evans. You got to slow down Antonio Brown. Chris Godwin could have had a couple of touchdowns. He had a drop that was over the shoulder that was a little rough in that Week 1 win against the Dallas Cowboys. Find a way to slow these guys down, because if they start getting loose and Brady has a lot of time, they have enough weapons on the outside to just carve up this Falcons secondary. And the Falcons secondary played okay at times against the Eagles. I think that Terrell had a C-plus day against Devontae Smith, who made him look a little silly at sometimes, but I think they can play a little bit better. Show me something here, Falcons secondary, because these wide receivers and, of course, the quarterback for the Bucs are pretty darn good. And finally, and we're going to talk about this when I get to my keys to the game, Kyle Pitts. Pitts has got to perform. Pitts has got to play well. Pitts has got to get out there and show why he was the number 4 overall draft pick, because in Week 1, he was not out there in a lot of red zone situations and really didn't do much separation in terms of creating space to get the ball thrown to him, and Matt Ryan tried to, but it was not a good debut for Kyle Pitts. Go ahead and figure it out and show up on Sunday, because they're going to need him to be big to extend drives, and especially in the red zone, if Atlanta is able to go ahead and get there. Now, I'm going to get into my keys to the game here in just 1 second. First, though, will Kyle Pitts meet expectations in Week 2? If you think he will, I'm saying expectations for being drafted number 4 overall. Type Y down below for yes, or down below, and type N down below for no. All right, my keys to the game, number 1, keep running the football. Like, Atlanta was running all over the place those first 2 drives, and then you go back and watch the film, and they kind of got away from it. They were like, oh, well, now we're going to pass because we're down 15-6, and it's like, you're only down 15-6. Like, run the football. That's like a 2-possession game. It's it's a 9-point game. It's kind of crazy that they would, freak out so quickly. Keep running the ball. I like what I saw from Cordell Patterson. 7.7 yards per carry. Give him the football more. Mike Davis looked competent. This was the best rushing performance I've seen Atlanta do in like 2 seasons. Run the football more. It'll help slow down the pass rushers, give your defensive rest, and hopefully take the pressure off of Matt Ryan. Number 2, got to figure out a way to get the ball to Calvin Ridley. This was a guy who we were predicting to have 10 catches a game, and he only had like 5 or 6 against Philadelphia. Now, they schemed well against him, but they really didn't seem to be trying to focus in on getting the ball to Calvin Ridley, who is very clearly the true number 1 right now in Atlanta. You've got to find a way to get your playmakers the football. It starts with Calvin Ridley on the outside. Now, when playing a team that is far superior and favored by 12.5, you got to get some lucky breaks. Like, you've got to get the ball to bounce your way. You got to get a lucky fumble. You got to block a punt. You got to return a kick. You got to get a pick 6. Like, something has to happen. I know this is a cop-out key to the game, but it's true. Like, they've got to figure out the way to get some key breaks here, or else they're going to go ahead and get blown out, because we know the Bucs are really, really good. Now, we talked about it earlier, and this is important. Show me some competence on the offensive line. I don't need you to, hold the Bucs to 0 sacks, although it would be nice. Like, show me some competence. Show me some fire. Show me that you are not completely inept and are going to give up sacks to every single team that you play. The offensive line has had a whole week, or will at this point, to go ahead and figure out what they did wrong against Philadelphia. Show me that you fixed it. Arthur Smith, show me that you are a former offensive lineman who can scheme the offensive line well. Be prepared, and show that you are competent enough to go ahead and hopefully slow down what is a very brutal and very good Tampa Bay Bucs pass rush. Final key, we talked about it earlier, use Kyle Pitts. Like, use him early and often. That first red zone possession against Philadelphia that you weren't even in there. Like, why do you have this massive 6'6", whatever it is, 200 and whatever pound unicorn of a tight end if you aren't going to use him. Like, third down and short, roll him out. That play they used in the preseason against the Browns, we didn't see that against Philadelphia, and it worked so darn well. Like, give me more Kyle Pitts. Use him early and often. You went ahead and drafted this guy to be the primary pass catcher, really, on your football team. I've got to see more from him. That's a big key in this game. Now, with all that being said, I'm not going to take the Falcons, and I don't think that anyone here is going to take the Falcons. I'm going to take the Bucs 31-17. I just want to see some competence. Like, I'm not asking for you to go beat the best team in the NFC. I'm asking you to be competent against the best team in the NFC and prove to me that this season is not going to be totally lost. I need to see this score. Hopefully it'll be better, but right now, if I was betting on this game, 31-17 Bucs. Give me your score prediction down below right now in the comments section. I'm curious if anyone, if you're being honest, is going to pick the Atlanta Falcons, even though this is the Falcons channel. I'm just trying to be brutally honest with you guys. That's my job. I got to be honest here. I'm taking the Bucs, and I'm curious what your guys' score prediction is going to be down below in the comments section. All time for today here on our Atlanta Falcons Today preview versus the Bucs. Make sure you guys are subscribed down below. Mailbag video coming up. Use the hashtag Falcons. That's all coming up later on this week. Again, I'm Mott. We sign off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.